I'm Tara Guaimano. I am a reporter for the Marist Circle, and I'm here with Matt Marotti, Student Body President-elect for 2017 to 2018.
Thank you for having me, Tara. Appreciate being here.
Okay, so Matt, I just have a few questions for you regarding your first 100 days in office as Student Body President.
Okay.
So your official start date is exactly when?
This coming Sunday, so April 2nd, we transition.
Just a little bit about you. Tell me where you're from, your major, just any student activities that you're involved in, just a little bit of your titles.
All right, so my name is Matt. I'm from Killingworth, Connecticut. It's a small town of about 6,000 people, about the size of Marist College, a little bigger. And my majors are business marketing and economics. And some of the things I'm involved in on campus, obviously I'm about to be student body president. That will take up the majority of my time. But also ambassadors, I'm an orientation leader, I'm in Greek life, I do intramurals, and I'm involved in several other clubs and organizations.
Okay, great. So just a little bit about the election process for this year.
Okay.
From my understanding, the voter turnout was a little bit under what was expected.
Right.
So any word about exactly how you would like to change that, if you would like to change that? And
Yeah. So we've identified as a team a lot of reasons for the voter turnout. One, it was lack of mobilization. There simply wasn't enough competition, enough people running, and enough people to know about it to mobilize people, like their friends, to vote. So that's the core of the issue. But the reason for that being that there wasn't the publicity. You didn't see the flyers. You didn't see many social media posts. You didn't see any sponsored ads. And it wasn't publicized soon enough. So people had no chance to even talk about it. And with a snap of the fingers, it was over. So people barely had the chance to vote. Beyond that, I think it's cultural as well. We need to incentivize people to vote and feel like they're an important part of the community in that voting. They're using their voice and potentially affecting change. That's something that I don't really think was driven this year that I plan to drive next year. We also have some new people in key positions, and I think next year we'll have a better opportunity to plan much farther ahead so we can make sure that something like this doesn't happen ever again. Because as you said, you're totally right. The voter turnout was much, much lower than we'd ever want to see.
what exactly is your plan to further engage the student body? If you could just go into a little bit of your agenda, what you're exactly planning on doing concretely throughout your first couple weeks even in office.
Sure. So what's nice about this year is that we're transitioning a little earlier than previous administrations have. It's about 2 weeks earlier, but that's good because it gives us time to plan and gives us time to set the groundwork and the framework for everything we want to accomplish. So often people come into this position and they spend so much time planning, even into the fall semester, into September, October, and then they don't have time to execute because winter break's right around the corner. So student engagement is huge. We want people to not only we're here as a resource, but to want to utilize us as a resource. It's one thing to have our office door open. It's a completely different thing to invite those people in. And I think when you use that form of communication, where you directly contact people and say, hey, Tara, I need your help, I need your opinion on this, people will be much more likely to give you the feedback and response you're looking for. So we'll likely see an initiative before the end of even this semester going door to door, saying to students, hey, we're the new Student Government Administration. We're here for you as a resource in case you have any questions about X, Y, Z. And then, especially when we get back in the fall with the whole new wave of incoming students, we'll do the same for them. And beyond that, of course, social media presence, it's going to be really strong. Communication is key after this year. And we're going to be updating the website as soon as possible so people can see their new representatives.
You mentioned how you wanted to break through those same issues, is what you said, and you mentioned the dining hall, and you mentioned parking, and a few other things that have been widely talked about on campus. So what exactly are those things that you want to break through?
Yeah, so a big part of what I was saying to Byrne is it's not just about identifying the issues. Your average student, and I've learned this after talking to students all across campus, can identify these key issues. It's about proposing solutions, and it's about having the right resources for those solutions and knowing how to implement those. So you talk about things like the dining hall and parking, even things like registration, potentially the priority point system. But the key is when you pitch these ideas to administration, because the reality is we certainly need the administration's help. You need to provide quantitative evidence to show them how many students this is affecting. If you go to them and you say, this is affecting 100 people, this needs to be addressed now, they simply can't turn that down. And it kind of forces you to jump into a plan and start executing. We plan to do that through an online student feedback forum that's in the works. I'm meeting with key people on campus to talk about it. So hopefully that's something we can see by September.
That you wanted to add, that you want to throw in there?
Okay.
Some plans that maybe I didn't know about?
Yeah. So there's, basically the way I'm looking at it right now is I have a big column of issues I want to address and a small column. And we've kind of touched into both. For the big column, we touched into student engagement. School spirit's going to be a huge thing for me. And it's not just about getting people to go to sporting events. It's more than that. It's the culture that surrounds it. And with Spirit, we're really trying to make the student center, we're making a strong push to make it more engaging and more welcoming, so that it's a place that students, because it is the student center after all, want to hang out, not just a place that people go to study. Beyond that, we plan to incorporate certain reminders that you're a Marist Red Fox along campus, even little things like putting Marist flags on the lampposts across campus. Little reminders that, you're a Red Fox and you should support that school spirit. Beyond that, I have a whole list of things I want to tackle, so we'll likely be updating the student body on those as they come.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for speaking with me.